Welcome back everybody, and what I'm going to be talking about today is a Humanitarian Driver's bug out kit. Alrighty, so what am I talking about in this video then? So this is in response to a friend of mine whose son is going to be doing quite a noble thing. He's driving over to the Ukraine with a whole load of basically humanitarian aid. So all the kit that's been collected in the UK, he's taken over there in his truck with a couple of his friends, so a few vehicles, and he's got no military experience whatsoever. Not that that really makes any difference, but his dad is obviously quite concerned about him, so he's thinking, what should he be carrying in his bag, in his kit, in case something goes wrong. And he basically come to me and asked for a solution to that problem. So in response to that, I thought it'd be a good idea to put a video together for a little bit of advice about this sort of thing. And there are lots of threats to these drivers, okay? So firstly, you've got the wartime type stuff, haven't you? You've got different factions fighting, and we're not just talking about the army and the Ukraine army. You've got all sorts of different factions and stuff joining in the fray. So you've got the so-called, the Russian separatists, which are going to be totally undisciplined, and they're going to be doing what the hell they want. Then you've got Chechens joining in the fight. You've got armed civilians. So you've got a whole load of people that are basically just doing what they want to do without any real control over, like they're not under any proper rules of engagement. So you could potentially be engaged, you could be shot up by one of these groups. As the Sky News team just yesterday was engaged by, they said Russian forces, but who knows. So you could be shot up as you're driving your vehicle. You could have an IED go off next to your vehicle or underneath your vehicle. You could drive over unexploded ordnance because the Russians are using cluster bombs. People could just be conducting illegal activity as well. They could, hold you up. They'll see a big vehicle coming, that's not guarded by any military or anything like that. You're not armed. They could basically just hold you up at gunpoint, tell you to get the hell out of the vehicle, rob the vehicle for whatever means they want to use it for, or just because they wanted to steal everything in the vehicle for their own use. So there's lots of threats going on, and that's not including getting hosed down by a flipping Russian aircraft or, a tank or something like that, in which case you probably ain't going to be able to do much bugging out because you're probably going to be in pieces all over the place. But anyway, I digress. The idea for this then will be just an idea on stuff to carry in your pockets, ready to go, and stuff to put in a bag so you can literally grab it, get out the vehicle, and it's going to help you survive for at least 24 hours and help you get back to where you need to, get to safety.
This amateur video shows them saluting in the air during the pro-Russian rally in the center of Donetsk.
They know all about civilians being attacked here. We'll never ever forgive them for this.
So what I'm going to be talking about first then is your clothing and your pocket contents. Okay, so a lot of people might forget about this sort of thing, especially if you're not ex-military. You're maybe not tuned into this sort of thing. But just a quick chat through. One of the main things you want to be thinking about is not looking like you're in any kind of military or not affiliated to any kind of group. Okay, so what I'm talking about here is, if you have a look at what I'm wearing, I'm not wearing any camouflage gear, am I? Okay, so I'm not wearing any kind of uniform parts. People will get a silly idea of thinking, oh, I'll grab a military jacket because it's going to give me protection from the weather, it's cheap, army surplus. If I was wearing a DPM jacket now, or a camouflage jacket, and I grabbed my bag out my vehicle and ran away, and I've already been shot at, chances are they're going to see that camouflage uniform and see you as a legitimate target. So don't go out wearing any camouflage gear, okay? Just wear plain clothes, plain colours, that sort of thing. What you're going to be looking for is a grey man look, all right? That doesn't necessarily mean you're wearing grey clothing. It just means try and blend into the local sort of environment of civilian population. So you're not wearing anything leery colours that's going to attract attention. You're not wearing anything military orientated. And the other thing is what I was saying about not being affiliated to anything. Not a good idea probably to go wearing a big sweatshirt saying I support Ukraine or something like this. What's going to happen if you get caught by an opposing force? Say you get caught by the Russians. You're wearing something like that. They've been getting a hard time off the Ukrainians, getting petrol bombed, all that sort of good stuff. you get captured by them, you're supporting the people that have been killing their friends, you're going to get a damn good kicking at the very least, if not get, possibly executed, who knows. So don't wear anything with any flags on, no UJs, nothing like that, no Ukrainian support badges or anything like that. Just wear stuff that's neutral, and neutral colours too. Personally, I think it's a good idea to wear colours that are sort of subdued, sort of darker colours, so greys, blacks, maybe dark blues, things like that, because that's not going to stand out as much if you do end up having to hot foot it through the trees, like in an area like I'm in now. It's not going to stand out as much as if you was wearing, say, orange, yellows, whites, stuff like that, okay? So the first one is just how you're going to look. Try and be the grey man. What I'm going to talk about now then, head to toe, is just what I'm wearing. Obviously there's loads of good ideas out there as well, but what I'll just do is just talk about what I would personally wear if I was going out to this area. So first one is you need to have some sort of hat. A cap is a great thing to be wearing because what it does do is it disguises the shape of your face slightly. If you dip your head, then it creates a shadow over your face. So if you were moving through an area and you'd had to bug out of your vehicle and you didn't want to be recognised or whatever, then you've got that to help shade your face a little bit. The other thing it does, it helps keep the rain off your face because it's nasty weather out there, isn't it? Going down from there, then what you want to be wearing is some sort of base layer. So when I say a base layer, it's a material that helps wick the sweat away from your body. So either a t-shirt or a long sleeve top, the sort of thing that you might wear in the gym, like an Under Armour top or something like that. Because if you are running, if you literally have to run away from an incident, if you're wearing cotton, what's going to happen with that is the sweat's going to stay in it and you're going to get cold. If you've got a wicking base layer, the sweat gets wicked away from your body and it dries quicker. All right. Underneath here then I've got a lightweight fleecy top. Again, it's just a bit of warmth, a bit of a warm layer there, but what I'm not wearing is a big puffer jacket, because again, if I had to get on my feet and run away, and extended run away for an hour or so, and I'm wearing a big puffer jacket, I'm going to overheat really quickly. But this isn't going to overheat as much, but it's giving you a layer of warmth. Over the top of that then, I've got like a windproof type jacket that's going to keep the wind off your body. It's going to keep a little bit of the rain off you. It's not 100% waterproof, but it's going to keep a little bit of the rain off you if it was raining or snowing. But what it's got good pockets on it, and I'm going to go through the pocket contents in a second. So you have got a few items on that you need to have on you. Underneath the tops then, what I've got, so this is an escape necklace, and it's by a company called Jackbite Solutions, and it basically undoes at the back here, and what we've got there, this is a friction line, okay? So this is made of micro Kevlar cord, and this can be used to defeat plastic cuffs. So if you were bound up in the back of a truck or something and left on your own, and you had the opportunity to maybe bugger off, but you had to free your hands first, you can use this as a friction line to actually burn through the plastic cuffs and escape. And I've done a video on this on previous videos. I'll put a link in this video to that. Also on this, you've got this hardened tungsten carbide bead, all right, and that can be used to smash glass. So if you're in the back of a car, you can literally use this to whip it into the glass and actually break out of that vehicle. So that's the necklace, and I've just attached myself onto that a small button compass, so it's a decent one. So if you were on the run after maybe escaping, then you've got at least the means to navigate to a degree, at least, so you know what direction you're heading rather than just going around in circles, okay? So that is just on a little necklace thing, and that's tucked under my t-shirt, so you can't even see it. Going down into my pockets and stuff then, in my right hand pocket, what I've got is just my wallet with my cards and stuff in. Obviously you're going to need that on you. Also in that pocket I've got one of our favourite things from recent times, a little mask. That's not because I'm thinking I'm going to go into a Ukrainian shop and I'm wondering about whether I need to wear a mask or not. The reason why I've got that in there is because, again, if you need to go into some sort of grey man thing where you're going through an area you don't want to be recognised or whatever, I'm not saying you're going to be on a hit list or something, but it's just another layer of kind of protecting your identity and stuff by throwing that on. And nowadays people aren't even going to question that, are they? In my left hand pocket I've got my keys, and I have been through this before, but just a quick run through with that. I've got a very small pocket knife on there. That's actually a Leatherman mini, I can't remember what they call it, but a little mini tool there with some blades and stuff on it. This is by True Utility. This goes over one of my keys, and it's got all little screwdriver heads and little tweezers and stuff like that. And then also what I've got is a little rescue tool by CRKT. So that's got a seatbelt cutter on there. So if you were, if your vehicle's damaged and you was in a crash and you was trapped, because it can happen, you was trapped in your vehicle by the seatbelt, you've got an option there of literally just cutting through the seatbelt using that cutter there. So that's on the keys. In my inside pocket here then, what I've got is, anyone that's watching my videos will be familiar with this, what I call my admin line. So I've got a cord that's got a mini carabiner on the end, so I've attached that to a zipper there, and then I've got a few kind of survival items. First one being a lighter, and this is one of those turbo flames or whatever they're called, but it's just a lighter basically on the end of the cord. So if I needed to, start a fire if I was out in the wilderness, then I've got that to help me survive. I've got a small flashlight, so this is a AAA flashlight. It's got a decent light on it, so at night I've got the means of getting myself through a dark area or whatever if I wasn't too worried about showing myself up to others. And then I've got a whistle. So that's a great way of attracting attention if you did see friendly forces or whatever and you couldn't move. So if you've broken your leg or something, it's a good way of attracting attention. It's a lot more effective than just shouting your head off basically. And they're all attached into that pocket there. Okay, one thing that I find super obvious that maybe younger people might not be using as much nowadays because they're using phones and stuff, it's just a watch. Okay, so as we know, your battery will run out in your phone within a day or so. Okay, if you're wearing a watch, you've got the means of telling the time, and also this kind of watch here, it's got GPS on it as well. And I'm not saying go out and then spend hundreds of pounds on a watch that's super expensive, but if you have got something like that, you've got the means of knowing exactly where you are. So that's my top half covered there. Coming down my body then, I'm wearing a pair of 511 trousers. They're not obviously military because they've got sort of low profile pockets and stuff. Obviously you wear whatever trousers you think are appropriate, but what I would suggest is if you're wearing jeans and they get wet, they're not the best thing. If you were caught outdoors after having to run away from your vehicle, they're going to take forever to dry out. Okay, so in my pocket here I've got my mobile phone. Obviously you want to have that on you at all times. And then on my left hand pocket here, what I've got inside a waterproof case is my passport. Okay, now you definitely need to have your passport on you, don't you? So I'd suggest having that within a pocket on your body at all times is pretty much essential. If you've got that in a bag, even if it's in your grab bag, if you literally have to get out your vehicle without having the chance to grab that thing, then you haven't got your passport and you're up, obvious without a paddle. So you need to have it on your body. Around my waist then, what I've got is a belt here, and this is by a company called Wazoo. What they basically specialise in being able to secrete stuff within their kit, and they make survival kit and stuff. So this is called their case belt. So within this then, it just looks like a normal belt, but what you've got is a Velcro top here, and it enables you to hide items within the belt. So what I've got is a small button compass, so it's another little backup compass there, that's just stowed in there. I've got some currency, obviously this is pounds, but you want to have the local currency, have that stuffed in there so it's not in your wallet and can be stolen as easy, not as obvious. And then what I've got is another friction line. So this is another one by Jackbite Solutions, and this is another friction line that can be used for defeating those plastic cuffs, and you can also obviously use it for survival bits and pieces as well. I've also got 4 water purification tablets there. So water's obviously super essential, and you've got that there to help purify your water. You can obviously put a load more stuff in a belt like this, and I showed that on my previous E&E kit video, but what I do think is it's probably best to keep it down to just a couple of minimum items so that it's not as obvious and it's harder to actually find. So that's the contents of my trousers there. The last thing I'll talk about is footwear. Okay, so what I'm wearing here then is just a pair of hiking boots. These ones are actually made by Handwag. what I'd suggest is you don't go travelling around with the potential of having to escape wearing a pair of normal training shoes, because if you do, you're going to have a bad time. If you're out in the wilderness, if you're running through the woods and stuff, you're going to have a hard time, aren't you? So at least be wearing something that's capable of giving your feet a little bit of protection, that's not going to give you mega blisters, and potentially a little bit of ankle support as well as you're moving through uneven terrain. So that's all the kit from head to toe there. Right then, so that's the first part in this little mini series done. All I've done is I've spoken about how you want to be looking, what you want to be putting in your pockets, that sort of thing. No doubt there's lots of people out there with more experience in this kind of thing than what I've got. So put your suggestions and comments in the section below. Let's see what you've got to say. What I will say about this though is I'm not trying to encourage anyone to do this, but I do think it's pretty noble what people are doing, putting themselves out, putting themselves at risk to actually help out other people. It's something you don't see very often nowadays, but as a result of what's going on in Ukraine, it's amazing, seeing people going out there and actually helping out other people for free, and putting themselves at risk. And I've got quite a few friends that are doing this, so good on you. But again, I'm not actually trying to encourage anyone to actually go and do this sort of thing, because you are definitely going to be putting your life at risk, and that's whether you're actually entering the country or not. Even just getting to that border, you're putting yourself at risk. So anyone that is thinking of doing this, have a good, long, deep think about what you're doing, because it's a war zone, yeah, and it's only going to get worse. So I'll wrap that up. Thanks again for all your likes, shares and subscriptions, and I know I have a problem saying that word quite often, and we'll be seeing you again soon. Stay prepared.